Good afternoon, YouTube. My name is Joe, and I am the founder of Dark Knight Medic. Dark Knight Medic was discovered or founded for simply the everyday person. It is very important, and I talk about on my other YouTube channel, how important it is to have these life-saving skills, whether it be basic first aid, EMTB, EMTA, paramedic, or even higher. It is at any given moment that you can be in a crowded area, you could be at the bank, you could be at the store, you can be home, and you're going to need to know how to do CPR or basic first aid to save either yourself, a loved one, or a complete stranger. So this channel, along with the business end of Dark Knight Medic, was founded to help each and everyone to give their full potential at giving somebody that opportunity to further their lives, to further the life cycle as well. So two things we're going to go over today before we get into the business aspect of what Dark Knight Medic is. So like I said, this channel will be teaching either conventional, non-conventional, impromptu ways of first aid and tactical medicine application. First, very important, and I believe the most important thing that should be in your kits, whether it's a kit like this, smaller or bigger, is a tourniquet. A tourniquet is the most valuable thing in your kit. If you cannot stop a bleed within seconds, the person that you were trying to save is going to be dead, or going to be in a state of shock that they're not able to come back from. So stopping the bleed is the most vital part of life-saving pre-hospital intervention. Tourniquets are widely available, whether it's through different first responder shops, whether it's through these big box things like Amazon, Alibaba, so on and so forth, Temu. But buyer beware. They typically go between $20 to $40 for a tourniquet. And a lot of these big box stores, whether it is your Temus, your Amazons, your Alibabas, are unknowingly selling counterfeit tourniquets. So if you see a tourniquet that's coming in a kit and the kit is really, really cheap, I'm talking about under $20, it is chances are that the tourniquet and items there within are counterfeit or cheaply made and will break under pressure. Also, another bit of advice, do not buy a training tourniquet thinking that that's going to be the one that you're going to use in your kit. They are made less durable than an actual tourniquet. So again, do not start buying things to save money. I understand when it comes to buying first aid items, it can be very costly, and saving pennies where you can is a smart idea on the front end, but in the long run, it could cost you or your loved one or that stranger you're trying to help their life. So tourniquet's not one of those you should be cheaping out on. So that is the first order of business with that. With that said, a lot of kits do not come with tourniquets for that reason, because they're not cost effective. One way around it would be a zip tie. Now, ideally, you do not want to have a zip tie this thin. You want to have a thicker half-inch, quarter-inch zip tie, and they can be used as a last resort or an emergency resort. Again, do not take this as gospel. I'm not telling you to do this to save money. I am telling you, in a pinch, they can be used in a life-saving emergency. So what you want to do is, if your injury is here, you want to go about 1 inch to 3 inches higher, so which would be here. And you want to cinch all the way down. You want to start cinching all the way down until you do not have a distal pulse. Once you no longer feel the distal pulse, which I don't, which means I have to go harder. Now it's gonna be hurting, it's gonna be uncomfortable. But once you no longer have that distal pulse, means that you have effectively stopped the loss of blood, which means that you do not have any more blood coming to that point of the limb, which will, in a bind, help save the individual's life. So let me take this off. And one other thing to be mindful about is that you want to either put a piece of cloth or a piece of plastic, piece of anything underneath, because you're gonna need wire cutters or scissors like I just had to take off the zip tie, and you can cause further injury to the individual you're trying to save. But it is very important to go high above the injury, whether it be an inch or 3. The general rule of understanding for somebody who's not trained in first aid is to go high or die. Meaning, if you have an injury here, to go all the way up to the junction of the shoulder, just to be safe, and to really pull down and cinch on that zip tie to make sure that the loss of blood is not happening anymore. So there's 2 ways, again, to check. Either A, you don't physically see any more blood coming from the injury, or B, you're going to look for the distal, the most furthest point, pulse, to make sure that there is, if there's no pulse, that means there's no more blood flow going to that area, and you have effectively stopped the loss of blood. So that is one life-saving technique if you do not have a tourniquet, and I will go over more in the future, but today, to start, that is life-saving technique number 1. Life-saving technique number 2 is not necessarily a life-saving technique, but more of a barrier method as part of your PPE for conducting CPR. So in modern tactical medication or first aid, CPR, whatever term you're going to use, they say you do not need to give breaths during CPR in order to effectively give CPR, and that is very true. I have a pre-hospital save where I only did chest compressions, meaning I did not give the 2 rescue breaths. Why? Because I did not have a one-way barrier, which in this kit, it does come with one. A one-way barrier is a barrier method to where, I'm trying to look one for you. Yeah, I have one in the kit. A one-way valve is a barrier method that is used to prevent any spit, vomit, so on and so forth from coming from the person you're doing CPR on. They usually come in a pouch like this, and it's going to be a plastic sheet with a little valve on it. So what you're going to do is the person you're doing CPR on, you're going to put in their mouth so you're able to blow in this way to give you the rescue breath, and nothing will come back out as a result. So you do not have to worry about any injury, any infection, any cross-contamination coming from the sick or injured person, and you're able to perform CPR that way. If you do not have that, you can just simply do chest compressions. General rule of thumb, if you want to forego, and again, not recommending it, you want to forego your personal safety to help that individual, one way to not put skin-to-skin contact on the affected person is to simply take a rubber glove and modify it. What you're going to do is find the middle finger, cut the middle finger off at the base, cut the glove up the side, and now you have a way of having CPR with the hole right there, goes over the mouth, and you have a way to perform CPR on the individual without having to put your physical lips on that person's lips. 2 short and quick, easy ways to improvise medicine when you're going to need it most. Again, this is the first of many topics and classes and instruction I will give you on either conventional or impromptu medicine in order to help somebody through a bad situation. So hopefully you like today's lesson. Now on to the kits that I do sell. So starting last week, I began an Instagram page at Dark Knight Medics. That is at DarkKnightMedics, Dark Knight Medics on Instagram. I sell the basic kit, which starts out at $58.99. It comes with the kit itself, which is a rip away. You could put it on the back of a headrest, which I do. You open the kit up. You have the triangular bandage, tape, an Israeli compression gauze. You have a chem light, a pair of shears. You have 4x4 gauze, and a clotting agent. The clotting agent is used to stop a massive bleed. You are able to throw that on there and use gauze, either the compression bandage, to stop the bleed. And I will show you that in a later video. You have the one-way mask, like I just showed you, and a pair of gloves. Now, do I recommend having this kit? Absolutely, because it is the business that I found to help the everyday person. It is not necessary. A lot of this stuff you can either improvise or get on your own, but if you do not know what you are doing or where to source a lot of it, there's chances are you're going to be buying stuff that is inadequate, like a lot of these kits are. A lot of these kits are starting out, very same kits on these big stores, and I will not name them because of I don't want to have an issue with them. But a lot of these stores, those kits, that exact kit is starting out at $75. And I do believe that medicine, the tactical application of it, should be available to everyone, either at low cost or a cost that is easier for everyone to adjust to. These kits are built for the everyday person to use, and there's applications for it and multi-purpose applications for that kit in multiple different facets. We will go over that in the days and the weeks and the months and the years to come about everything, how to use in this kit and how to effectively use it in an alternate mean. One of those ways, like I said, with the rubber glove, you can use this as a barrier method in order to provide CPR to someone. And it is very affordable, and I highly suggest you have one as an everyday carry. You have it in your vehicles, you have it on your person, whether it's your pocketbook, your purse, your book bag. It's very easy and very affordable to have. You can't put a price on life-saving techniques. You can't put a price on the gear that you have. Any gear that I have, whether it is camping, survival, so on and so forth, those are the things that I do not cheap out for that reason. Again, very similar kits. Whether you go on these big tactical stores, whether it be the police, first responder stores, same kit, little cooler bells and whistles, but same stuff, starting at $72. This kit starting out at $58.99 and is ready to ship. I have a whole box of them behind me, ready to ship. And with everything going on in the world, this channel, we're not talking politics, the other channel we will, but everything going on in the world, it is ideal to have some sort of first aid or tactical medicine kit with you, just because. Just simply look up in the news right now. There are things happening all over this country, all over this world, and it is a great idea to have things that will make a difference in your life, your loved one's life, or a complete stranger. I've done it, and I highly suggest you do it as well. So moving forward, once a week, I will try to get out a video of the application of conventional CPR and first aid medicine, as well as tactical medicine. And in the weeks to come, I will start also doing alternate, like I did today, where I showed you using a zip tie as a way to use an impromptu tourniquet in an emergency. Again, anything that I show you as impromptu is not medical advice. Nothing I'm telling you on here is medical advice. It is simply being regurgitated from what I've discovered and was taught over the years. Also, it is very, very wise of you to be certified in first aid, whether in your country, your state, or your area where you are. This is not by any means a training course. It is simply just giving you ways to help yourself in that emergency situation. So I hope you like the channel. If you haven't done so, hit the subscribe notification and the alarm bell so you know when these videos are coming on. And check me out on Instagram at Dark Knight Medics. On X, I am at Dark Knight Medic, as well as this channel. Thank you very much, and stay tuned for further.